with whatever you feel most comfortable with. Yeah. I'll just leave it on. So I couldn't help but in the last few days, thank you. So I couldn't really help but in the last few days to reflect back on the past year. So my son Seamus, who I wish that many of you got to know, he started his first year of kindergarten online last August. And as many of you probably know from personal experience, it was a brutal experience for everyone. After a few months, a few very long months, he had the privilege of going back to school in person. Being our only child and his first time going to school, we had no idea what to expect, and also how meaningful his journey would be. I remember the first day of getting in the car and going through this carpool line for the first time, and we're all kind of excited and happy and just throw him out of the car with his mask on and his brand new backpack running to school. And for that whole year, parents weren't allowed on campus. But the teachers were amazing, and all we heard from the teachers were how excited these children were to be together, to be there in person and making the most of their experience. They didn't know what had happened before. They didn't have playground equipment, but they learned new and unique ways to play together. They used leaves as money. They learned how to play tag without touching. And overall, it was just an amazing, truly amazing experience. But none of that came without a lot of sacrifice. So when I look out into this room today, I'm really inspired by the sense of this true testament to the power of possibility. Each person in this room, all of you as participants, the faculty, everyone that's joining via live stream have made so many sacrifices to be here and be present in this moment. Those were loving sacrifices. It included leaving your families, your friends, jobs, important coworkers, spending weeks quarantining before the program. Many of you have to quarantine after the program. Missing the birth of new children. And there are probably so many more of those loving sacrifices that each of you made to be part of what this experience is right now. I'm really just in awe that you, all of us, this whole room, everyone joining, we were able to make this ambitious goal of holding an in-person executive experience in the middle of a pandemic a reality. This could never have happened without the extreme dedication that you exhibited. As they say, it takes a village, and I can truly attest that this experience has been nothing but amazing. You pushed the boundaries. You didn't ever lose sight of what was possible. And you'll now be leaving that legacy as members of this amazing SEP 2021 cohort that made it through a program in the middle of a pandemic. The whole university saw what you were doing and the excitement was just there. So, when Seamus' school year came to an end this past month, all I was left with was this sense of gratitude. extreme gratitude for everybody that was involved in making that experience special. And that's really how I feel now. Gratitude for all of you, for everyone that has been part of this. No one has lost sense of this power of possibility. Just think. Imagine what we can all continue to do together to make the impossible possible. Thank you. So it is with extreme gratitude that I get to welcome Professor Bill Barnett, our faculty director.
Great job, Angela. Great to see you again. And I understand that your loved ones and your partners, spouses, friends, children, and other loved ones are watching right now on live stream. So I'm just going to take a minute to speak to them. Thank you so much for your sacrifice. Your loved ones have been in our non-degree program. We have degree programs in universities and non-degree programs. SEP is our flagship non-degree program, and it makes it very special. It's great that people come to Stanford to get degrees. It's what we're about. But there's something very special about someone who wants to take the time, and as Angela was saying, make the sacrifices to come purely for the learning. Purely for the learning. And you can't do that unless your loved ones are partnered with you in that. And so we really want to say thank you. We wish you could be in here. In the future, on alumni days, there will be times you can be in here, probably. I'm certainly. But this is one of the many sacrifices. Now, you can go on too long with thank yous at the end of programs like this, and I don't want to go on too long. I do want to thank all the staff who worked on the program, but I am going to talk about you, Angela, and I just have to do it. We didn't give much of the backstory. We decided to just launch into SEP and hope that the smoke and the heat never showed up. And that was basically our strategy because there weren't a lot of plan Bs. But what was going on since October was all Angela. And it wasn't meant to be that way. Ordinarily, there's a tremendous amount of cooperation and camaraderie among our executive ed staff. Our executive ed staff are really amazing. I've worked with them for decades, and I just can't say enough because they deal with all sorts of amazing people from the world, and they deal with the faculty, and they bring them together and make it as if they're not there. It's just, I can't even imagine it. And then to have Angela go from being in the situation she was ordinarily in as part of a team with Ryan Price to understandably, and we love that it's this way in the world, that Ryan could take the time for she and Brent to have their baby. The timing was such that Angela suddenly found herself making a command performance as the head of an organization that was doing something it had never done before. So she was up at the university level. Normally, if you have the dean's support around here, you can pretty much do something. She was beyond the dean, dealing with the university officials, with the health officials, as well as all the internal forces. And every week when we met, the question was, can this be made to happen? And every week, Angela said, I think there's a way. I think there's a way. And she would always be, she and her team, of course, would always be coming up with those solutions. And the very fact that it happened is because of what you did this year. It was so not business as usual. Same for you. Now, it was the same for you. When we began to put this together in October, the question was, we couldn't assume there was a vaccine. So we had to assume the program would run under whatever the color, orange or something, right? Whatever the worst case it could happen, the worst case scenario where any kind of event could happen, that was the assumption. And then the question was, if we build it, will they come? Would you come under these conditions? Would you sit with a mask on with your loved one not there? And you did. As Angela was saying, we were blown away by it, and the faculty are so happy about that. And I'm just going to take a quick minute to speak on behalf of the faculty. Faculty here teach MBA students for most of our teaching and PhD students for about a third of our teaching in terms of our regular load, and then most of our time is spent doing research. So it's a very research-intensive experience. And we love that teaching. You wouldn't do this if you didn't love the teaching. But I got to tell you, I get called all year long by faculty asking, how's it going with SEP? Because the intrinsic motivation of the non-degree SEP executive student is so fun for our faculty. They love being with you. So on their behalf, I want to thank you for doing what you had to do to get here. So I think those are the thank yous I wanted to get. We got the staff, we got Angela for her good work, and thanking you on behalf of the faculty. And so with that, let me introduce our featured speaker for the evening, T. Tran.
Thank you. It's one advantage of being a speaker. You have to take your mask off. So I have to admit, I'm probably the least prepared I've ever been for a speech, but somehow I always manage to prioritize partying over preparing for the speech. Priorities, right? So hello, SEP class 2021. Today is your day. Today is our day. It is with absolute honor that I represent as your speaker on behalf of this incredibly talented, accomplished, superhuman class of SEP 2021 cohort. Let us take stock in that. We're 104 talented leaders. I'm going to go geeky on you since there are a lot of engineers here and throw a bunch of stats at you. Thank you, Reed Hastings, aka Brad. So we're 104 talented leaders from 28 countries, 6 continents, 25 industries, and we lead over 65,000 employees, serving over 350 million customers, and driving over $90 billion of annual revenue. Wow, just wow. So thank you to all my SEP friends, now my SEP family. I'm so humbled for this opportunity. I'm really beyond grateful. Remember when Professor Huggy talked about that lady that goes from toilet to tower, cleaning toilets to towers, and people looking at her as the exception. I was the exception, but now I feel exceptional. Thank you to you. But none of this would have been possible without the tremendous hard work and dedication of the entire SEP staff extraordinary. We already heard about that. Angela Thomas, who managed to be everywhere all at once. I don't know how she did it, but she was able to help us in any way she could all the time. Professor Barnett, Dan, Sarah, amazing. We had played so many games and we laughed at ourselves, laughed so loud that our stomach hurt. And by the way, Lydia has the best laugh ever. Barnan. And also thanks to Ryan Price, too. Kudos to her for meeting with us to talk about DEI. And of course, our cream of the crop faculty, Stanford faculty members, it was overwhelmingly impressive. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced such a moment in 6 weeks where we've gotten, the cream of the crop professors. And the entire staff, and last but not least, Chef Raul and his kitchen staff. Thank you. And special thanks to all the Turbo Talk speakers, some of you among us here. Thank you so much. So our hearts and mind and bellies were filled with gratitude. When Angela came to me and said that I need to talk for 10 minutes, I was thinking, 10 minutes? Who can talk for 10 minutes straight? Jeff Mills. He should be doing this. Public speaking is definitely not my forte. So excitement then quickly turned into anxiety. But then I remember that according to Mary Schmick, you should do one thing that scares you every day. So why not? And what's the worst that could happen if I bomb miserably? I can always fire myself like Emma did, in that Netflix awesome, kick-ass, oops, are we on? Parents listening? Award-winning video, Netflix video. Go Team 7, congratulations. And if I faint, PD promises to step in right away. Where's PD? All right, thank you. Amazing support. And if all else fails, Jen could be my pro PR, manager. She can go into full mode crisis management and then restore my image. Or we can just do 9 minutes of mindfulness meditation. And then I can talk gibberish for the other minute. And if I screw up, we can just go, ta-da! And you can help cheer me on the whole time, right? Okay? Oh, good! Oh, good! Oh, good. So, let us go, then you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky, to T.S. Eliot there, and let us travel back in time, back to 6 weeks ago. If you can close your eyes. And imagine, remember when you've just got here, trying to check in, you're traveling, some of you were quarantining for 14 days elsewhere. You got here, and then we're in Zoom for the next week, right? And you're trying to do rapid bonding. Okay, now we can close our eyes. Open our eyes. Did you know exactly what you were looking for? Did you know who you were, who your best selves were when you showed up? Did you know how you wanted to show up? What were your first reflexive impressions of your classmates? Were they 2s or aces? Where were you? Where were you in the pecking order? Which version of yourself do you want to be? For me, it was really hard to tell from Zoom where my own pecking order was. Bottom of the barrel, middle of the pack. I thought I was a hot shot, and I come here and see you guys. Hello. So I definitely did not feel like I was a superstar amongst you superstars. But to be honest, I didn't really care that much. My mind was elsewhere. I'll come back to that later. Suspense. Remember how Dan and Sarah valiantly tried to get us to, rapid bond and all those games, those weird games that we played, some technical difficulties, but we laughed it off. There was levity. Some of you struggle how to say my name. It's not a big deal. Thai, whatever. So I started to, do this and this. Yeah. It didn't go too well over Zoom, but much better in person for sure. So, but we chuckled and laughed, and then it became like, instantaneous. Every time a professor called me, I went into full beast mode, you know. And yeah, so bust a move. But I appreciate your respect and thoughtfulness to attempt to try to pronounce my name. Now it's just T, right? It's very easy. So I wanted to share the story of my name. In Vietnamese, where I was born, it's actually five words to it. And it goes like this. Trần Diễm Thi Ngữ Uyển. Thi, do you remember that? Tran is my family name. Diễm means beautiful. Thi means poetry. Ngữ Uyển is the name of an imperial garden where my father proposed to my mother. My mother was a young school teacher. My father was a dashing soldier, and they fell madly in love, the way that young lovers do. They got married, had my sister, my oldest sister, and me. Fast forward a few years later, my father, after my father's military career skyrocketed, he decided that he was the ace, and maybe we were the twos. So he left my mom for his mistress and had a whole different family, had 2 boys. And I don't know if you know the Asian culture, you know, 2 girls and 2 boys, and boy, is that like an extra stab in their heart, right? So, sorry. I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I remember my father coming back, bringing lots of gifts, more gifts than I ever dreamed of. You know, now I know it's always a sign of a bad thing, like material things. But I still remember the day that he left with his driver. He had a driver, he's a big shot, in a Jeep, driving away on this windy road. And I had this sinking feeling in my stomach that he would never return. And he never did. But life has a way of healing wounds. You know, we talk a lot about resilience and perseverance. I think when you fail from a business, you know, you can pick yourself up with enough support. But a broken heart is a hard thing to mend. So I grew up, never wanted to get married, have kids. But here I am, happily married with 2 kids. So anyway, we left Vietnam after the fall of Saigon. We tried to escape 3 times. The 3rd time, I still vividly remember how my brothers were drugged with sleeping pills so that they don't cry, because if we got caught, we'd either be shot or put in jail. The 3rd time was the charm. We did get robbed by Thai pirates 3 times. I'm not going to go into the details, but I'm here to tell you that freedom is a privilege. So use it wisely. We finally made it to, after harrowing storms, and literally we thought we were saying goodbye to each other. We were in a boat of maybe 350 people that had the capacity for about 100. But we made it to Thailand. We lived in a refugee camp for a year. It was a bittersweet year, a year of freedom, a year of lost love, my father and other relatives. But that's when I grew up. So fast forward, we make it to, we were fortunate enough. And by the way, we talked a lot about, what we show up, how we show up, and what we bring to the table but there's always luck, for you that have been born privileged or underprivileged, right? Luck is one of the elements that you should be grateful for. I'm very grateful for. But we were lucky enough to come to the US and, broken English and, suffer some racial biases for sure. People telling you to go back to your country. I had like 5 paper routes, had 3 jobs in high school and college, but I got a full ride. I wanted to be an artist, but the counselor said that, if you want to get your college paid for, then go into something like engineering. I had no clue what engineering was or what, let alone electrical engineering, but I was like, oh, why not? I like math, I like science, so that's what I did. So I tried to acclimate to the American culture. We talked about finding the best versions of yourselves. And who you are is also affected by how others perceive you, right? The twos and the aces. Actually, that game really affected me in the most profound way. But anyway, fast forward, I tried to acclimate to American culture, been around the world, found some success in my career. I was able to start my own business, doing a restaurant, bookstore, coffee shop, wine lounge, and in my own way, to get back to my roots of the arts, I tried to patronize local artists and was able to bring art back into my life. I did go to art school, so come full circle. What started to be a means to an end ended up to be, what I really love. I actually honed my craft along the way, and I love engineering. I really do, and I don't just say that. And I'm also able to enjoy the arts. But coming to this class and trying to take stock in everything, and with all you sharing the stories, I felt like I was there. I knew exactly what I want, but we'll see. We'll see maybe 6 months later, 6 years later, when hopefully we will share our stories and where life takes us. So we're so good at having these frameworks and how-to books, right? And we study the brain, and we get so good at mapping the brain, but we don't do so well with mapping the human heart. And it dawned on me when Professor Fred Liskin was giving the talk on forgive for good, or forgiveness. It dawned on me that I never forgave my father. And earlier when I told you that I came, I didn't care what you think of me, I don't care if you think I'm a 2, whatever, kind of, aloof attitude. Because my father passed away that weekend. I suppose it's maybe not too late to forgive. Fred says, people don't owe you anything, right? That's different when it's family. But enough of that. Let us now reflect upon what we've learned, the eureka moments as our curiosity was unleashed. Hundreds of slides, pages, hundreds of pages, and numerous case studies and group exercises. Total information overload, but artfully mixed with alcohol overload. And we were revived by the mindfulness exercises and just sharing our experiences with each other. But we managed to do it all, really. It's incredible, the adrenaline rush. Well, maybe some of us skipped a few readings here or there, but overall, quite impressive. Remember our first weekend watching soccer or football, Copa Americana, the European Cup? We were drinking, laughing, and cheering with our newfound friends at the patio. Perfect weather, so blessed. Soccer, volleyball, tennis, swimming, hiking, biking, morning fitness. There was something for everyone. Thanks to Zach, who got us addicted on WhatsApp newsfeed. It's hard to concentrate at class when all this stuff is going on. I think we have like over 30 groups now. So we had foodie dinners, San Francisco, Palo Alto nightlives. Thank you so much for those who arranged that. Napa Valley, Half Moon Bay. You guys really missed out on all this stuff, but Yosemite, Carmel, Monterey, dinner parties, Courtyard, binge fest. So we had our fun-filled feasts, fine wines, terrific times. We laughed and laughed and laughed. And I feel really sorry for the people that are in that row, but suck it up. And hats off to the awesome Australians. Woo, you gotta cheer for them. The bodacious Brazilians. The raucous Russians. When they're around, you always know you have the damn best parties to go to. And then we had our DJ, our rock star DJs, Wolfgang, Anatoly, I don't know who else, Miss Marcelo, Sergey, Slava, maybe. They always kept us going with the beat, kept the beat going. And then, oh my God, there was, Wolfgang was like passing the speakers on his shoulders, and PD was, I've got pictures, I've got photos. I've got photos. If you ever run for president, let me know. And it's really weird to see a bunch of executives just let it loose. So, and yet there were some poignant moments. We shared our life journeys, from anywhere from career counseling, relationship, marriage therapy. Somehow we found it much easier to share with each other. We met, less than 6 weeks at that time, versus people that we've known all our lives, our closest friends, our families. We share without fear of being judged. Now that's some serious rapid bonding, so hats off to you. Well, maybe some of the booze helped a little bit with that all that sharing, but we'll take what we can get. I don't know whether getting advice from a bunch of amateurs really helped or hurt, but it didn't matter. It really didn't matter. There was genuine empathy. I don't know why I'm so emotional. And it felt good. It felt safe. And finally, we were able to power down from superhumans to mere mortals, to simply friends. It's been only 6 weeks, and yet it seems like a lifetime, like we've known each other so much longer. A few of us mourned the losses of our loved ones while we were here, but we also shared the joy and the gift of 2 brand new SEP babies. One boy and one girl. Just like that. So that makes us 50% representation for I think there'll probably be like 2061 cohort. Well done, Kareem and Keith, right? Bravo. thanks for doing your part. I hope we do ours. Thank you, Ruth, again, Professor Barnett, and Ryan, for your efforts to help us to drive to better representation. And of course, not naming any names, but we also maybe, possibly have budding romances. Not mentioning any names. So, I'm expecting the most amazing wedding in that church, right? In the near future, somehow. But anyway, so back to the math, right? 50-50 representation. So who knew math could be so powerful? We talked about, what we can add to our portfolio. We can add SEP to our LinkedIn profile, add this to our belt, add the framework, add this and that. But in the end, what we needed was subtraction, right? Boy, do we need subtraction. So I don't know, with all those classes, and somehow the only two key takeaways I remember is like frameworks are bullshit. Oops. And don't F the customers. Now fast forward 6 months, 6 years from now, do you know where you're heading? Do you know what life has in store for you? Which version of your best self will it be? Will we even recognize you? Here are some predictions. Maybe Ragib's, before we get to that, I wanted to also acknowledge to thank some of our colleagues for sharing your amazing stories. Artzin and I went for a walk. We had a very profound talk, just like Murali and I think it was Chinmoy, talking about the best versions of ourselves. Christopher shared his powerful story about having a second chance in life, that paved his path to success, and then, losing your identity when you are out of a job. Ragib's rags to riches story, so impressive, one of 11 siblings, incredible achievements. And he lived like he had nothing left to lose. So, and maybe some predictions now. Maybe Ben will quit his job and join forces with Ruth and be go really global with Mercado Global. And maybe Murali's company will find the cure for cancer. Brad will really take over Netflix. Marcello will be on either his 6th IPO or having his 6th kid with his wife. So many possibilities. But thanks to Christopher, to Anatoly, who really pushed this, Christopher and Zach, we were able to ideate. We just need time to incubate before we scale to the rest and perhaps making SEP 21 more impactful beyond our cohort. So I wanted to make that plug for Slack. So I think you need to do the opt-out instead of opt-in, so. So whatever walks of life you have come from, and whatever your next big thing is, I wish you the best success. I wish you the growth. I wish that you can find your best self. But remember, in a room full of aces, don't be the jerk narcissist. be the one that uplifts the two of hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we supposed to give us instructions?
Well, it's the time of the evening you've all been waiting for. It is time for us to give you your certificate and for us to celebrate together the wonderful accomplishments of SEP 2021. A few very quick instructions. What was going to happen is the name will be called. We'll invite you to come across the stage. You will see Angela to get your certificate, have a photo with Bill, and then I'll remind you that because we are observing county and Stanford rules, we will be completely contactless. We will just have to envision that we're hugging one another and shaking hands. So that will come in the future.
As each person crosses the stage, we'll have a chance to celebrate them one at a time. First off, Miranda Aldrich. Tamir Olsadoon. Majid Olsenade. Ruth Alvarez Zagolia. Yuichi Ando.
Stefano Angeli. Tina Arunches. Timothy Arndt. Virgil Bellini. Mark Best.
Claudia Blanche. Laura Block. Nick Bolton. Esor Bolton de Toledo Barros. Richard Briscoe.
Wing K. Chan. Marcello Ciampolini. Ben Conley. Kayo David. Colin Davis.
Manuel de la Torre. Romit Day. Cesar Donafrio. Carlos Dortrait. Chris Egan.
Shiva Esturi. Kirill Yevstratov. Vibeka Gwendolyn Fangstrud. Manucho Fares. Andreas Fleischer.
Tiago Paciuli Fortunato. Sanjeev Gate. Elliot Gold. Sergei Golovkov. Craig Grenowitz.
Lydia Gett. Jérôme Hanik. Muhammad Hussain. Mustafa Jain. Ryusuke Kabasawa.
Johnson Cow. Vinod Kartha. Masa Kohama. Emerson Liche. Christopher Lichty.
Maria Cecilia Londoño. Sherry Luther. Igor Lichagov. Michelle Ma. Keiji Machida.
Himmel Makwana. Adam Manakowski. Anatoly Marin. Daniel McBroom. Jeffrey Mills.
Leo Moreira. Payam Musavi. Wolfgang Mueller. Ajay Mungara. Eduardo Nazal.
Anmol Nijar. Elena Onbright. Slava Oryakov. Jose Antonio Ortega Carrero.
Mona Patel. Muller Pedroso. Francisco Pimentel. W. Scott Rader. Bradley Ramsey. Carl Richter.
Laura Rupp. Chinmoy Saha. Ivan Savelyev. Michael Schiebel. Michael Sagayarach.
Tony Shi. Victor Shilo. Yukihiro Shimoda. Victor Silva. Emma Sinai.
Jagtej Singh. P.D. Singh. Avinash Sinha. Cameron Smith. Raymond Sood.
Bennett Spector. Carmen Spielman. Andrei Stavnitzer. Jennifer Stoll. Lama Tamimi.
Christopher Tan. George Kalitze. Arsen Tomsky. Karim Tuma. T. Tran.
Lars van den Bosch. Murali Venkatesan. Liao Tong Wong. Emily Ward. Michael Wright.
Zach Yang. Jean Yu. Miguel Zepeda. And rounding out the class of 2021, Chi Zhang.
And we'd love to congratulate all the graduates, but first, I know I've been given many congratulations, but I also have to acknowledge the amazing team behind all of this that haven't gotten the recognition yet. So Shannon, Luciano, Kate, Charlie, Morgan, thank you so much.
And with that, congratulations, SEP 2021. We now invite you to go across the street back to the mothership for yet another delicious meal.